Hi guys, how are you? Um, Something's going on with my other mic, so I guess we're going to use the different mic today. All right, you guys, it is Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. We've got some news out of New York that isn't related to Ashley Siren taunting people on Instagram. I will be doing a story later on that today, but let's start about Jenelle. So, there was a rumbling because people started noticing that Jenelle Eason was tweeting some, I don't know, questionable things on Twitter, and then she was mentioning things on Instagram, almost sort of like in the Facebook days, vague booking. Remember that? Well, some news has come out of New York now. So a source I actually spoke to told me that Jenelle was seen leaving the MTV studios, and another source told me she met with MTV executives about her return to Teen Mom 2. Now, at this point, they did not say whether or not the return would be that she would be continuing as a regular cast member, whether or not she would take a guest appearance, whether she would just have like a special. But according to my source, the meetings with the executives went really well. But the crazy thing is that, according to my source, she got word from MTV executives not long ago that they wanted to meet with her related to her contract. If you remember, she had been speaking in the press that her contract was still open, but she was very much clueless about what was going to happen with her. What was going to happen? Was she going to return? Was she not going to return? She talked a lot about it on Instagram. She talked about it on People magazine. She talked about it basically everywhere, saying MTV has me in a contract. Ask them what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Well, MTV executives apparently reached out to her and asked her to come to New York to meet with them and talk about her future. She and her attorney then arranged to go to New York, according to my source, and she left North Carolina without telling David she was meeting with MTV executives. She's been on Instagram since departing, vaguely discussing issues and turmoil in her relationship and insinuating that maybe there's trouble in paradise. She's also not following David on Instagram, and he's not following her. So how is it that she flies to New York and doesn't tell David? Well, here's what's going on. On Instagram, she said, "Give you the whole world. I'm gonna need a space. I'm gonna need a space. I'm gonna need a space." Basically, she needs space. She also posted this: "I love you all, whether you know it or not. I hear what you're saying. I get it." And then someone said, "I'm glad you like it." And she responded, "Glad." And then she wrote, "I'd rather be alone tonight. You can say I love you through the phone tonight. Really don't want to be." And then it says "In Your Arms," which is an Ariana. It was a song she was listening to that was typing out the words. And then these were some tweets that she put out as well. "I love all of you, whether you know it or not. I hear what you're saying. I get it." And then she wrote, when you fall tears, you don't know why, then it's time. Just keep breathing." Now she deleted the "when you fall tears and you don't know why," and she also deleted the "just keep breathing," but the other one remains on her Twitter. Now, somebody actually reached out to David on his side, and I actually reached out to David. He did not respond to me. But this person said, "I hear that MTV has rehired Jenelle." He said, "She was never fired. I don't know how many times we have to tell you people this, always thinking y'all know more than we do, but you end up asking questions. So she was released from filming. I don't think MTV would have replaced her." Well, you keep thinking, we see how far you got, blah, blah, blah. Now, I reached out to David to see if there was confirmation that she left without telling him, but he's not responding to me. Instead, he was sharing a hunt he did with Ensley. It appears that he only has Ensley this weekend, meaning that Marissa's probably with her grandmother and Kaiser's with Doris and Nathan. He and Ensley shot a squirrel and they had it for dinner. Yum. But then when I searched on her Instagram, she is not following David. So, what does this mean? Is there trouble in paradise? Will she be returning to Teen Mom? Is this all just sort of a way to drum up attention and relevancy? It's hard to know, but clearly David did not go with her. David was not a part of the discussions in terms of her returning, and being that he was actually fired and is not allowed to film and is not allowed to be like when she is filming, not allowed to be around because of the disruption that he causes her. It's unclear what this would mean for their future. David does not want her, according to sources, to go back to MTV. He seems to want to have a more tight control on her. But if you do know, there's a couple factors here. The ratings, and a lot of you guys got really salty with me, insinuating that the ratings were not connected to Jenelle, but I do stand by my belief that her leaving the show did impact it to a point. I do agree that there's aspects of the cast and their entitlement. The storylines are getting boring. The whole Amber Gate and people no longer wanting to support MTV has been another factor, but this is a very similar decline to when Farrah left. Teen Mom OG's ratings dramatically declined after Farrah was removed from the show. And again, they are at last week, ratings for Teen Mom 2 was 665,000 viewers. At peak last season, they were averaging close to 1.2 million per week, meaning that without Jenelle, they have lost nearly 50% of their ratings. Could it be a multitude of factors? Yes, but I do believe that Janelle's departure plays a pretty large factor in the ratings decline. I don't disagree that the storylines have gotten tired, and I also don't disagree that Amber's issues have also played a role, but Teen Mom 2 has always been a really strong ratings show, and without Jenelle, it seems to be fledgling. Even bringing in Jade doesn't seem to match anything. Now, if this does mean that she's coming back, I think this is going to spark a lot of outrage from fans. She would have a lot of damage control that she would need to do to convince people that she's actually going to take steps to make the right decisions. And I think maybe she's trying to placate fans by saying that she gets it. It's hard to know whether or not she would actually leave David. But since leaving Teen Mom, they have struggled to make any sort of money. She attempted to launch her eyebrow palette, which went terribly. There was issues with the products. She didn't sell very many of them. She got terminated by the company that was selling them. She has had issues with launch parties. She has lost sponsorships. She got rid of her clickbait, which, despite the fact that like clickbait can make someone anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. That's a big paycheck, but she got rid of it because she wanted to get rid of like the fake stories. So without any source of revenue coming in, she's probably desperate and maybe waking up to the fact that being with David is not the right choice for herself or her children. And I mean, I would hate that it has to do with income, but maybe all of these revelations of how lonely she's gotten and how isolated she's become, maybe she's waking up. We can't forget that he is an extremely volatile human being. He's had a very noted history of altercations with her, numerous calls for 911 for help. She essentially had her collarbone allegedly broken by him. Maybe this was what it took for her to leave him. I don't know. They have gone back and forth. They've done this before. I don't know if this will stick. I am not going to give up. I would never give up on someone that's in a situation like this. And I really, really hope that at some point, maybe this is the time that she wakes up and realizes she needs to leave. Her children deserve so much better than the situation that they're in. But I don't know that going back to Teen Mom 2 is going to do anything at this point for ratings. I don't know that the show is on life support. I think the whole franchise is on life support. These girls are damn near 30 years old. It's not about teen moms anymore. They are all extremely wealthy. It has gotten so far from the original premise that a lot of fans don't even recognize who these girls have become. At this point, it might even be better to just end the series, and if there's one fan favorite, do a show or a whole series with them. But this whole Teen Mom franchise is definitely fledgling at this point. So this is what we've got about Jenelle at this point. I will keep you guys posted if I find out anything more. But like I said, people at the reunion did not see her. She was not at the reunion. She was seen leaving the MTV studios or building by people that are there, but they did not see her actually at filming for the reunion. So I will be back later, and I will, like, you guys, as much as you've hated what's happened with Nugget, you've hated what's happened with this, let's not forget that this is a woman that's clearly struggling, that has been in a relationship that's extremely toxic and with a man that's very controlling, I believe. Let's hope that this is a wake-up call for her, and let's hope that maybe she can start to take some steps to doing the right thing. We should never give up on people, especially when children are involved, and we should never give up on mothers that need support, and maybe this will be the time she wakes up. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more on Ashley, Jade, and Kayla's drama. Bye, guys.